Hey guys, welcome to Amy's Autopsy Report. My name's Amy. This video, we're going to talk about this. The mean one. Yeah, so this is a horror comedy parody of The Grinch. And it's directed by Stephen Lamort, and it stars David Howard Thornton as the Grinch himself, or as they call him in the movie, the mean one. This movie came out last year, and it had a very limited theater release. I couldn't find information on the budget, how much it cost them to make this movie, but I did find that the box office, it had a limited release, like I said. The box office, I think it had somewhere around the number of $600,000 is what they basically made off of the box office numbers. But so I don't know how much it cost them to make this movie. I couldn't find that information. It's 93 minutes long. Yeah, so this movie has a lot of bad reviews. A lot of bad reviews. It has like a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.8 on IMDb. And so I didn't really look any of that up before I found this online for pretty cheap. I think you can stream it on Amazon and possibly YouTube for a fee. It's not free on Prime, I don't think. But at any rate, kind of, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I eventually had to watch it. My curiosity got the best of me. And the same thing about this. I remember this coming out last year, but it wasn't like in the theater around where I'm at. So I didn't end up seeing it in the theater. And then I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And, but I wanted to see it because David Howard Thornton is the Grinch, and he's so good in the Terrifier movies. So that was basically the draw for me to watch this. And I am kind of a sucker for Christmas horror movies. I've seen a ton of Christmas horror and I enjoy it. So I had to give this a watch. So let's get into the things I liked about this movie. This movie is pretty ridiculous. So it's a parody, so they couldn't use the name The Grinch. So nobody can say the name The Grinch in the movie. So they call him the mean one. And there's a few instances within the movie that one of the characters is about to say The Grinch, and somebody yells something in, like, right when it starts to say Grinch, they yell something, like there's a bar scene, and this alcoholic guy is getting ready to tell our main character, Cindy, who's not Cindy Lou Who, she's Cindy you-know-who. And so he gets ready to tell her he's the Grinch. And as he's about to say Grinch, the bartender goes, Fitch, Mr. Fitch, your order's up. And so it's kind of like ridiculous in that way. So the town is the basic plot of this movie is Cindy, you-know-who, thinks she's seeing Santa Claus at a very young age, 6 years old, something like that, putting presents under the tree. And her mom comes downstairs and is like, get away from her. And then the Grinch kills her mom. So that's the basic plot of this. She is instructed by her doctor to go back to her childhood home. They're going to sell the home, her and her dad. And when she gets back, all this other stuff starts happening. The dad ends up dying early on in the film. Anytime anybody talks, sings a Christmas carol, hangs up decorations, has any wrapped presents, puts up a tree, anything like that, they get killed. So that's the basic plot of this movie. So the things I liked about it, there was kind of a cool aspect when you watch the original, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Um, they have like a narrator, and so this movie had a narrator who would cut in from time to time with kind of like Dr. Seussy kind of rhymes, and I thought that that was kind of cool. Um, it does have a little bit of gore. Some of it's practical effects, but there's a lot of like real bad CGI. Um, David Howard Thornton is excellent. He does a really good job. His acting capabilities on the physical level are pretty great, and so I was not disappointed there. Um, the the premise of the story isn't terrible, but it's so there was some stuff I liked about it. The stuff I didn't like about it was, and it was kind of funny, like, but it was not even, it's supposed to be a horror comedy, but most of the things that you could tell they were doing for the jokes weren't the funny part. It was funny because the acting was some of the acting was kind of questionable. The ridiculousness of it. I can only imagine that they had very little money to work with on this. But they did try to make the best of it, I feel like. Although I'm not sure if CGI blood is cheaper than making it, but you can make it out of corn syrup. So I don't know that. I don't know the numbers on that, but so this movie's not perfect. This movie's not going to be for everybody. It's kind of funny because everything's like just a little bit off. Like he's called the mean one. Cindy Lou Who is Cindy You Know Who. The town alcoholic name is Doc Zeus. The town isn't Whoville, it's Newville. So they make great value names for everything in this movie, and that's to protect themselves legally. So I don't know. There's a lot. I feel like there could have been a lot of potential. I could also tell, I don't know where this was filmed, but it was not filmed in a cold environment because the snow in one scene like looked really fake. The snow was fake, but they didn't even put like CGI breath coming out of these people's mouths. You could tell they were not cold at all. One funny thing is like, so the Grinch lives in this mountain, like this cave, and Cindy, for some random reason, Cindy's up on the mountain taking photographs. So she's taking photos and she falls down into this cave, which is basically like the Grinch's lair. And she doesn't fall very far, and she easily climbs out. Well, later on in the movie, the deputy goes up there, and he has to like put a harness on and rappel down in there. And I'm like, it wasn't that far. She fell down there. She literally walked right out, like in 2 seconds. And so I don't know why they had him like rappel down into the cave, because there was no need for that. Yeah, Doc Zeus is the town alcoholic. Nobody believes him. Nobody believes her. They all say she's crazy. And then it's got like this weird like Jaws element in it. The mayor is like behind all this like corruption and all this weird stuff. And they're just trying to like, nobody celebrates Christmas in the town. It was really ridiculous. But I actually enjoyed this. And I don't think I can really recommend this to very many people because I think a lot of people are not going to like it. I had a lot of fun with it. To me, it was funny unintentionally. I say, if you're like me and you like, B movies and some of that, then give it a shot. But I can't really recommend you watch this unless that you are, I mean, there's more stuff to it. Like at one point, that's Cindy, You Know Who, and she turns into this badass, and she has to start training with fighting and boxing, and like gun training and all this stuff. And it makes it seem like she trains for a really long time, but it's really like, seems like it's a couple days. But the montage goes on like for a while. And suddenly this person who is like afraid of everything with PTSD is now like this badass, and she's going to go up there and kill him. And I don't know, man. It's out there. Like I said, I actually got a lot of enjoyment out of this. I liked it, but I'm not so sure what most people are going to think. It seems like most people did not like it. So, yeah, check it out under your own. Yeah, there he is. There's the Grinch. Yeah, the makeup looked good on him too. And then there was this weird like van full of drunk Santas that go to this restaurant, and they all like, it turns into this big bloodbath. But I wish it would have been a little bit more brutal, but I think that's just because David Howard Thornton was in it, and I was that's what I was expecting. But overall, I had fun with it. Again, watch at your own risk. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you like these videos, give me a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram at Amy's Autopsy Report, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Oh, yeah.